You are not going to want to miss today's show. Today, I start walking on an ancient roadway, land in the sewer, and then end up in the hospital. That's next on First Century Foundations. Welcome back to the show, and welcome back to the city of David. Today we're going to pick up where we left off last week at the Pool of Siloam. You'll remember that in the story of Hezekiah's tunnel, the two groups started at opposite ends, one at the Gihon Spring, one at the Pool of Siloam, and they dug through the mountain to make a way for the water to travel through the mountain between these two pools of water. Today we're also going to look at an ancient roadway that leads from the pool up the mountain to the Temple Mount. And this roadway would have been traveled by pilgrims once a year as they came year after year to visit the temple. It also fits into history at a moment when Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 AD. And during that time, the refugees who were fleeing the Romans actually hid in the tunnels or in the sewers underneath this ancient roadway. And we're going to have a look at that today as well. Let me put this in context for you by reading a verse from the book of Nehemiah. It's found in Nehemiah chapter 3, beginning at verse 15. And it says here that the fountain gate was repaired by Shallun, son of Kol-Hoseh, ruler of the district of Mizpah. He rebuilt it, roofing it over and putting its doors and bolts and bars in place. He also repaired the wall of the Pool of Siloam by the king's garden, as far as the steps going down from the city of David. So I read that to you because it helps to put it all together for us. It mentions the Pool of Siloam, but it also mentions the roadway, the steps that come down from the city of David. And so we've got both of those things mentioned there as Nehemiah comes back to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem and to rebuild the city. I'm looking forward to our time today with AnaRina as she helps to explain some of the finer points of this story. And I want you to come along with us as we stand by the Pool of Siloam and we walk up the ancient road toward the Temple Mount.
Coming up, Jeff continues to explore the ruins of the ancient city of David. First Century Foundations is continuing to bless the land of Israel. And this is all possible because of people like you. With your help, we have been able to support local ministries within Israel who are caring for some of the nation's most needy by providing food and clothing for the poor, and much more. The House of Light is one such ministry that not only ministers in prisons, but also runs a summer camp for children.
We're in the middle of this camp and all the noise of the children around us, rejoicing in the Lord and in your help, and we just want to say thank you.
This is all possible because of your prayers and support. Call or write today and become a monthly partner for just $30 a month or more. And be sure to ask for your free Israel Prayer Watch so you can be up to date on all that is happening with these ministries in the Holy Land. We are waiting to hear from you.
Well, welcome back. We are here at the city of David with AnaRina. AnaRina, thank you again for helping us with our time here. Now, we are standing, this platform that we're standing on would essentially be what?
On top of what we believe is the palace of King David.
So the rooftop of the palace.
Exactly. Again, we didn't see something written, this is the palace of King David, but
right.
According to all the things that we found, it's very clear that this was the governmental structure.
Right.
And most probably the place where David would have ruled from and where he would have built his palace. So if we are standing here on top of the rooftop of the palace.
Yes, there's a story that comes to mind, isn't there?
Exactly.
Yes.
If I can recall, there's a story that says in a certain time in the year when kings go out and fight, when wars happen, all
right.
the guys go and they fight, and the women come out and they come out to the roof and play.
Okay.
And why do we say that? Because Jeff, if you look down, you can see that we have the wall going down, First Temple period, and within this structure you can see a house is being built into the structure. This specific house is called the Beit Achiel, the house of Achiel. How do we know that? It was actually written. So, but again, now you can see, if David was standing right here on the rooftop, he could have seen what is happening in other houses. And most probably in this vicinity is where that story took place.
That story being the story of Bathsheba, where David got himself into a whole lot of trouble. And so you can see the perspective here that when he came out, he could actually see down onto, I guess, the rooftops of other houses that were built below, right?
Correct. And again, the Bible coming alive in so many ways while we're standing here. Across from where we're standing, you can see on the houses over there, underneath the houses are holes into the rock.
Right.
Now, those were the tombs. So all the tombs of the city were on that side of the Kidron Valley.
Okay.
Now, in this valley that we see here, which is the Kidron Valley, we also we read about the story where David was running away from his son, Absalom.
Right.
And it happened during the night when the whole party of David had to go through this emek, through this valley, and he went up there to the Mount of Olives. And it actually says he went up crying as he went up the Mount of Olives. Now, this is where it happened. There's no other spot where this could have happened.
Wow.
But now I'm thinking of the psalm that says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Correct, because that was the valley and that's where the tombs were. And he was having a very hard time at that stage trying to run away from his son. So again, you can see from where we're standing how the whole Bible is coming to life.
Incredible.
From King David's rooftop, AnaRina then brought me to the lower part of the city of David to see the excavation of the actual Pool of Siloam that we read about in the Bible.
We are here at a very significant site, the Pool of Siloam, and this is at the end of Hezekiah's tunnel.
Correct.
So talk to us about the significance of where we're standing.
Let's start with the name Siloam. Where does it come from? It comes from the Hebrew word shiluach, which means that which is sent. Now the water is being sent from the Gihon spring here.
Right.
It's also shlichim. Sometimes angels are called shlichim, sent ones. So that's the root of the word.
Okay.
Now we're talking about the pool here, Second Temple period that you see here, but there's also remnants of the First Temple period, because we know from Hezekiah it ended up in the Shiluach pool as well.
Right.
How did it start, Jeff? The question is, how did we find it? And it's a wonderful story. Same thing that happens in our lives as well. We find something messy happens in your life and you have to start cleaning up. You have to go deeper and suddenly you discover new things.
Right.
Now with us, a drainage pipe burst and we had to start digging down to clean the mess up. But the archaeologists knew that this is a hotspot, this is an archaeological hotspot. So whatever we did, they came to check all the time. Right. And one day Eli Shukran was here and he heard the sound of metal on stone. And he said, that's not dirt, that's stone, let's open it up. And they started to see all these stones that you see here. But very interestingly, they saw a pattern. They saw stones coming up, and then you have a little bit of a walkway, as you can see here, and then stones coming up, a little bit of a walkway. And it was the exact same pattern that we have at the Hulda gates, at the temple where people have to enter. And they said, listen, if that's the same pattern than here, that we have here, it means that these two have to connect. And then we discovered, but there's a massive road leading up from the Shiluach pool all the way to Temple Mount, and we will go and see what this road looks like. Wow. But let's talk a little bit more about the Shiluach pool. What did we use it for? And more important, you can only count on your hand the places that you can say this is actually where it happened.
Right.
When you come to the Holy Land, when you come to Israel, a lot of people will tell you this is where this happened, this is where that happened, but no proof. This is solid proof that this is the Pool of Shiluach.
Wow, that's incredible. And we, have another story that we'll talk about a little later on the show that we also connect to the Pool of Siloam here as well.
From the Pool of Siloam, the Jewish pilgrims would then ascend the recently discovered steps to the Temple Mount. AnaRina showed me this amazing find and also revealed some of the dark history that goes with it.
We are now in the road. We spoke about the Shiluach pool. We spoke about that there's a pool at the bottom of the city of David.
Right.
And between that pool and all the way up to Temple Mount, we discovered this massive road leading up where all the pilgrims had to walk up for the service at the temple.
Okay.
So we discovered that, and we discovered a little story, or not just a little story, quite a big story when we started to do the excavations here. So let me go and show you a little bit of what we found here. This is the actual road built in the Second Temple period. But when we started to excavate the road, the archaeologists found something very, very interesting. They saw that in certain places in the road, as you can see here and there and a little bit up, that they made certain holes. And it wasn't by accident. They said this was meticulously made. Why did they do something like that?
Okay.
Now, as we said, sometimes we have to go back to the Bible or Jewish sources, some historic sources to figure out what's going on.
Right.
So in the Second Temple period, we went to Josephus Flavius, and he wrote actually about this. He said, after the destruction, a lot of the refugees, around about 2,000 refugees, were hiding inside these tunnels. They were trying to see if they can still make it out. And when the Romans got wind of it, they broke the road in specific places, and for the first time, this part of Josephus Flavius is coming to life when we found this. Okay. And you can see that we found intact cooking pots inside these tunnels, meaning that these people were trying to live it out and try to wait it out until they can escape. But the Romans heard about that. They threw fire in and they smoked the people out. And it's written that most of the people died already because of hunger, but those who came out, they smote with a sword. Okay. And also here we found a Roman sword as part of the whole story. So a bittersweet story. We're going to do the Aliyah, we're going to do the pilgrimage now, but remember when we go through the tunnel, this story of these people hiding out in the tunnels.
Yeah, okay. We are ascending to Jerusalem.
And now you can also feel, because it's not just the physical ascent, what you feel physically is also how you had to prepare yourself spiritually to go up.
Right.
So you can sort of feel it in your legs. Jerusalem is a city on a hill.
It
and
is.
People had to go up for the festivals.
AnaRina, we're now underneath the road.
This is the road.
This
correct.
is the road. And we're in the
inside the
drainage tunnel underneath.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
And this is where the people had to wait it out.
Incredible.
Quite an amazing feat as well. This whole construction, it was made in the last part of the Second Temple period by Herod. And you can see, I mean, they also have the rain drainage systems to drain the water, massive road. And we're speaking about a very, very wide road on which the pilgrims could travel. So hopefully within the next few years, Jeff, you can come back and you can actually walk the road itself.
Now there is a prophecy about what you're doing here to uncover this road and to find these tunnels. What does that tell us?
Correct, Jeff. This whole place is one big prophecy being fulfilled.
The whole city.
Yeah. The specific one is in Isaiah, where it says, build up the highway, remove the stones for my people to return. And we are literally tunneling out this road. We are removing the stones and opening up this pilgrim road again for people to come and walk it once again.
That's awesome.
Right, here we go. End of the tunnel.
Well, we made it. If I can do it, anybody can do it, right? I don't think I'm any worse for wear. No cuts, bruises. It's all good. So you guys need to come. If I can make it through there, I'm 6.5 feet tall. It's a little muggy, you know, a little narrow at spots, but it's doable. So come to the city of David. You need to come here.
After the break, Jeff joins Joe Kaplan of Israel Relief Aid. Jerusalem, the holy city, is the focus of much of the world's attention. And Psalm 122 tells us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Yet do we really know why, or even how? Why does God want us to specifically pray for the peace of this ancient city? And how do you pray for a city that for most of us seems so foreign and so far away? Praying for the Peace of Jerusalem, the new book by Jeff Futers, now reveals God's purpose for the Holy City and all of Israel, and why He wants every believer to pray for His holy land. Now more than ever, the people of Israel need our prayers and support. And when you order your copy of the book Praying for the Peace of Jerusalem for just $10 plus shipping and handling, you are also helping these precious people in a very real way. Call the number on your screen now, or go online to firstcenturyfoundations.com and order Praying for the Peace of Jerusalem, and begin to pray for Israel with understanding and purpose.
Hey, welcome back. We are here in front of Shaare Zedek Hospital, and I might not be saying that right, but anyway, that's where we are. And this is Joe Kaplan from Israel Relief Aid.
Hi.
Joe, what are we doing here today?
Well, we've got toys to distribute. You know, the kids in the hospital are always hooked up to an IV, and they're always in a lot of pain, or they just don't feel good, or they're having surgery. We're in the surgical units.
Right.
And when we come in with these toys, the whole environment changes.
So we're going to go inside and distribute these toys that you helped us purchase, First Century
Right.
Foundation, so thank you, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're inside the hospital now, Joe, and we're on the pediatric floor.
Right.
What's going to happen now?
Now we're going to go first into the general pediatric ward and pass out. Then we'll go to the surgical ward and pass out toys. And then after that, the ICU, if they'll let us in. We'll have to see. That's a big surprise.
Okay.
So לא רוצה עבודה.
Shalom.
אני ג'ו קפלן מסיוע לרווחת ישראל, וזה ג'ף וקוז First Century Foundation Canada. So, okay, איזה
You're very welcome.
ככה זה הולך, ככה. אוקיי. קרית בשבילך.
Tough decisions.
שיהיה לך רפואה שלמה, כן? שיהיה לך רפואה שלמה? כן, בטח. כן, בטח, כן, גם אני חושבת.
Wonderful.
גם ג'ק חושב. יופי.
Great.
גם אתם חושבים שיהיה לו רפואה שלמה?
ברור, בעזרת השם.
אוקיי, יופי.
You're
אוקיי,
very
יום
welcome.
נעים.
Nice to meet you.
יופי.
This is an amazing hospital. It seems like the kids are getting very good care, and they seem to enjoy receiving a toy, so we're going to try again. Come on in.
This is a baby, so we want the baby duck.
Baby duck.
Maybe I should have gotten more baby toys.
Hi.
Hi.
Shalom.
Would you like to give the baby toy? Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You get a choice again.
אפשר לקליק תמונה? כן? Okay. Okay, you can take the picture.
Yeah, we're good.
Walking through the hospital with Joe and handing out toys to the kids was a lot of fun. Seeing the smiling faces of the kids and the parents was just so rewarding. I was amazed at how welcoming everyone was, especially the hospital staff.
Joe, that was amazing. So much fun. Thanks for letting us be involved in that. And I love being able to see the looks, not just on the kids' faces, but on the faces of the parents as well. It's just so amazing to be involved in that. Tell us, why do you do this? Why is it so important to you?
Well, it's a great feeling for me, a great feeling for us, isn't it? It's a great feeling for the people that are helping, participating with the toys, isn't it?
Yeah.
But really, inside the hospital, the doctors and the nurses, it's making a huge difference for them to be able to do their job, for the patient to get better. And it's uplifting for the parents, like you said. It changes their whole perception of things and gets them thinking that, wow, this is really exciting. It's not so horrible being here in the hospital, But also we did give to Arabs, Christians, and Jews. We gave to all religions.
That. Yeah,
and
that's great.
when a Jew is giving, somebody, or a Christian is giving somebody to an Arab a toy, this is big. This is really big.
Well, and they were all so very thankful. I
Yes.
mean, especially the Arabs, I found. It was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is just one of the things, kind of activities we're doing. We're doing all kinds of different events here in Israel. This is, to me, one very important one, but I want to reach all of the sectors in Israel. I just have a real pull on me, a real drive on me to reach the people that are hurting, to reach the people that are crying out but nobody's hearing them or nobody's answering. These are the people I want to reach, not the one that everybody's already reaching and giving a lot of things to. I want to reach the corners, the places where nobody's getting anything. That's really my heartthrob.
Well, that's actually the heart of Jesus, isn't it? I mean, He said to us that we should be reaching the least, and that when we reach the least, we're actually doing what we do for Him. And I know you know that, but it's great to make that connection and help people understand that when you give, when you support, this is a ministry, Israel Relief Aid, that is reaching out to those segments of society, to new immigrants who are coming into Israel, and you're also doing it in a very cost-effective way.
Right. We don't have a building. We don't even have a warehouse. There's a warehouse right next to me that I could rent for 10,000 shekels a month, and I've been there and I've done that before. I've been in humanitarian aid for 15 years, and I've seen where, from the United States or from wherever I've been directed to have something that looks good to donors. And now I am sick of it, you could say, and I am not doing that anymore. I am just going to use the donor money for aid. That's what I'm doing, because I am going to go to the Father one day, and I'm going to have to report on what I did, and this is the way I want to do it.
So, Joe, thank you again for letting us be involved in this today. It's been fun for me. I've never done anything like this before, especially in Israel, and I think the connection for us, knowing that First Century Foundations was able to help in purchasing these toys, has made it extra special.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And we don't want you to go away. We're going to be right back in a few moments to talk a little bit more about what we've seen today.
First Century Foundations has been making a difference in the lives of some of Israel's most needy for years. And you have been a vital part of this important work. Because of your gifts, we have been able to support the believers in the Holy Land, who every day are sharing the love of God with the elderly, Holocaust survivors, refugees, underprivileged children, and everyone in need from all backgrounds and walks of life. This practical approach of feeding the hungry, clothing the poor, and visiting the sick is making a real difference in many lives throughout the land of Israel. Call or write today and become a monthly partner for just $30 a month or more, and begin to make a real difference in the lives of Israel's most needy. And when you call, be sure to ask for the free Israel Prayer Watch, so you will be up to date on all that is happening with the ministries that you are supporting. We're waiting to hear from you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show today. The City of David has just been such an amazing place to visit. And I love this story around the Pool of Siloam and the roadway that leads up to the Temple Mount. We mentioned earlier that we would talk a little bit later about a New Testament story featuring the Pool of Siloam. And you will remember that one of the major miracles that Jesus did happened around the context of this pool. The story is found in John chapter 9. And I want to read just a little bit of it for you today before we comment further. As he went along, he saw a man blind from birth. And his disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" "Neither this man nor his parents sinned," said Jesus, "but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work, and while I am in the world, I am the light of the world." And after saying this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. "Go," he told him, "wash in the Pool of Siloam." This word means sent. And so the man went and washed and came home seeing. There's so much in this text that we couldn't possibly get into it all today, but I do want to point out just a couple of things. First of all, when Jesus is answering the question about, who sinned, this man or his parents, he actually makes the statement, and he says, nobody sinned. This happened to him so that God's work could be displayed in him. And then he says this, he says, I am the light of the world, referring to himself. That's significant because we consider this miracle of the healing of the man born blind to be one of the messianic miracles. Nobody could heal a man who was blind from birth except for God himself. And so when Jesus performs this miracle, he is essentially saying to the people, I am the light of the world. I am the Messiah. I'm the one that the prophecy spoke about. And it's very controversial when he does this. But he also does something else. He sends the man, after he's taken some mud and rubbed it in his eyes, he sends him to the Pool of Siloam to wash. And so the man has to do something. He's got to give action to his faith, and he goes to the pool and he washes his eyes with the water from the pool and comes away seeing. It's an incredible miracle. And I love, the wow factor of what Jesus did. He healed somebody who was blind from birth, but I also love the fact that he's saying to the whole crowd that is there, I am the Messiah. I am the one sent from God. I am the light of the world. It's amazing. And then, we take and we sort of fast forward about 40 years of history to the destruction of the temple and the invasion of the Roman armies. And as the Jews are fleeing Rome, they hide in the sewer tunnels underneath the roadway that ascends up to the Temple Mount. That picture of refugees fleeing the Romans who are coming in actually is a picture that we're very familiar with in our modern day times. We have refugees all over the world who are fleeing evil forces, and it's a terrible, terrible thing that we see. Many refugees have come here to Israel in the last number of years, and there are groups like Joe Kaplan and Israel Relief Aid that are helping immigrants and helping refugees who come to this land for the very first time. And she helps them with all kinds of things like basic necessities and furnishings and food. And I loved being able today to be with her as we distributed toys in the hospital. Those incredible smiles of the children, man, you can't put a price tag on the feeling that you get when you see a child smile like that. You partner with us, with Joe Kaplan and with Israel Relief Aid and with so many other organizations that we work with here in the land. And today I just want to say thank you, nothing more than that. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you for supporting Israel. Thank you for blessing the land of Israel. It's been great to have you with us today. We'll see you next time on First Century Foundations.
Thank you for watching. To learn more about this program and the ministries in Israel that we help, or to receive the Israel Prayer Watch, call the number on the screen or visit us online at firstcenturyfoundations.com. And to keep up to date on all that we're doing, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join Jeff Futers again in Israel next week on First Century Foundations.